Once a formidable Bronze Age superpower, the Hittites established themselves as a dominant force in Anatolia by the 2nd millennium BC. Yet, by the end of the millennium, this once mighty civilization faded into obscurity, leaving behind only faint traces in historical records and biblical references. The origins of the Hittites. The Hittites began their migrations into Anatolia in the latter half of the 3rd millennium BC. Two primary theories exist. One posits that their ancestors originated from the northern Balkans, forced south by waves of new Indo-European peoples. The Hittites traversed the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles before ultimately settling in Asia Minor. Although their language may have belonged to the Abkhazitic family, the evidence remains fragmentary. His reign is chronicled in a surviving text that details his rise to power and early conquests. Despite leading an army of approximately 1,400 soldiers and 40 chariots, Anida's campaigns were primarily limited to local conflicts rather than large-scale wars. Ironically, Hattusa would come to be the capital of the Hittite Empire. The rise of Hattusa and Hattusili. After his conquests, he returned to Kusara and distributed parts of his dominion to his sons, solidifying the power of the royal family. This symbolic act represented a shift from the earlier dynasty centered in Kusara. This rich tapestry offered cultural, religious, and social variety, all held together by the strong, centralized power of the Hittite kings. Known as the Great King of Hatti or Hattusa, he was believed to be divinely chosen by the sun goddess and the storm god Tashub. He personally participated in various religious rites, sacrifices, and acts of divination, bridging the secular and sacred realms of governance. However, the king's power was not absolute. It was moderated by an advisory council known as the Pankis, composed of nobles, priests, generals, and local elites. Major decisions involving war, peace, or succession required the council's consensus. Beneath the king were royal family members and high-ranking officials responsible for provincial governance, military command, and often harboring ambitions of their own, resulting in palace conspiracies and power struggles. Social structure and rights. Local governors often inherited their positions, ruling almost as independent princes. The lifeblood of Hittite society was composed of free farmers who worked the lands, raised livestock, and served in the militia. Legal frameworks existed to protect them. Land ownership was secured, and peasants had the right to file complaints against local nobility. Hittite archival records indicate instances where these complaints were decidedly in favor of the peasants. Slavery in Hittite society differed markedly from that in later classical civilizations. They could own property, marry, and even purchase their own freedom rights rarely afforded in other ancient societies. The Hittite legal code demonstrated humanity and flexibility, deviating from the harshness seen in Babylonian law. Instead of strict retributive justice, fines were favored as compensation for wrongdoing, and the death penalty was rarely employed. Oaths were significant in legal proceedings, allowing accused individuals to clear their names by swearing innocence before the gods. Religion and deities. Hittite religion was a complex amalgamation of various cultural influences, embodying the kingdom's ethnic diversity. The Hittites claimed to worship a multitude of gods, with over 800 deities recognized today. As the empire expanded, they absorbed and incorporated local cults, showing respect for the spiritual beliefs of conquered peoples. This inclusivity helped solidify their legitimacy and foster acceptance among their subjects. At the pinnacle of the Hittite pantheon were two principal deities, the storm god Tashub, also known as Tarhunt, and the sun goddess Arina. Tashub was often depicted wielding a hammer and a bundle of lightning bolts, symbolizing fertility and power, while the sun goddess held a protective role over the royal family in Hattusa. The Hittite kingdom's architectural legacy included extensive temple complexes dedicated to their deities. Temples were not merely religious centers. They also functioned as significant economic entities, managing large estates and workshops. Scribes recorded administrative tasks and religious texts, maintaining accurate accountings of the temple's activities. Hittite mythology drew from Indo-European, Hashan, and Hurrian traditions, representing a rich cultural tapestry. Central to this mythology was the storm god's battle with the dragon Iluyanka, symbolizing the struggle of order against chaos. This mythological framework provided a vital narrative foundation for Hittite culture and belief. Military organization. The Hittites were ahead of many contemporary civilizations by establishing a professional standing army, a significant departure from the reliance on peasant militias. War chariots were central to their military superiority. These heavier-than-Egyptian counterparts were drawn by 2 horses and crewed typically by 3 men, a driver, an archer, and a spearman. This configuration allowed for versatility in combat, making them powerful tools on the battlefield. Hittite infantry was predominantly light, with soldiers donning simple, loose clothing and carrying long spears as their primary weapon. As they fought in compact formations, they established a military approach that foreshadowed later Greek phalanx tactics. Their armor was bronze and their shields were typically small, rectangular, or oval in shape and covered with animal hides. As Hittite technology advanced, so did their weaponry, transitioning from bronze to iron. While early iron weapons did not significantly outperform bronze during this formative period, the shift marked a crucial turning point in military organization that would define future conflicts. Conclusion: the legacy of the Hittites. The Hittite civilization stands as a testament to the complexities of ancient cultures. With their intricate societal structures, legal systems, and military innovations, they left a substantial legacy that continued to resonate through history, despite their eventual disappearance from the annals of time. Though they vanished from the historical record for millennia, the discovery of written texts and archaeological sites has begun to reveal the depth and intricacies of Hittite culture. Once a superpower that commanded respect and fear across the ancient Near East, the Hittites continue to intrigue historians and archaeologists as we strive to uncover more about their contributions to human civilization and the reasons behind their enigmatic decline.